The upcoming week on us is a whirlwind of raw emotions. After months of distance and silence, Sammy is finally reunited with her son Johnny. But this isn't a warm, tearful embrace. Instead, what unfolds is a serious, gut-wrenching conversation that forces both of them to confront the darkest chapters of their family history. While Johnny may not blame Sammy for EJ's past mistakes, that doesn't mean he's ready to look past everything. His mother's complicated romantic history with EJ, a man who once violated her trust in the most horrific way, leaves Johnny searching for answers. With tears in her eyes and years of regret in her voice, Sammy opens up about the deeply complex relationship she's always had with EJ. It's a love story written in heartbreak, manipulation, forgiveness, and survival. Sammy doesn't shy away from the truth. She admits that years ago, EJ coerced her into sex, exploiting her vulnerability in a moment of desperation when she was trying to protect someone she loved, Lucas, from a terrifying fate. It was a moment that shattered her, but in time, she found herself pulled back into EJ's orbit. Sammy explains that EJ eventually apologized, and she, against all odds and perhaps against her better judgment, accepted it. For Sammy, love has never been simple. It's been chaotic, messy, and often painful. Yet somehow, she always found herself believing that redemption was possible, even for someone like EJ. Sammy's confession is raw and complicated, much like her life. She doesn't ask Johnny to understand everything. But she does share one unshakable truth: she could never regret the child that came out of that terrible experience. Johnny's birth gave her purpose, light, and a reason to fight through the darkest of days. He is her miracle in the midst of madness, and nothing will ever tarnish the love she has for him. But even as she speaks from the heart, Johnny struggles. He's not just dealing with the past, he's also trying to come to terms with Sammy's decision to hide certain details about EJ's actions. The truth, in Johnny's mind, should have come out a long time ago. Instead, Sammy carried the burden alone, choosing silence over transparency. And now, the weight of her choices is crashing down on both of them. Despite the turmoil, Sammy urges Johnny to open his heart, if only slightly. She wants him to give EJ a chance to make things right, to prove that he's not the same man he once was. And surprisingly, Johnny may hear similar advice from another unlikely source, Chad. As both men wait for updates on EJ's medical recovery after being shot, Chad seems to believe that forgiveness might pave the way for healing, especially in a family as fractured as theirs. But just as one emotional storm brews, another one threatens to erupt. Elsewhere in Salem, Chanel remains haunted by the events of the night EJ was shot. Questions keep swirling in her mind, questions she's not sure she's ready to answer. Why was Johnny so secretive that evening? Where was he, really? And could the man she loves be hiding something terrible? Unable to keep her fears to herself any longer, Chanel confides in Paulina. With trembling hands and a worried heart, she shares her deepest concern, that Johnny might have pulled the trigger. Paulina listens carefully, her maternal instincts kicking in as she tries to make sense of it all. But Chanel's fears are more than just fleeting paranoia. There's something in Johnny's behavior that doesn't add up, and she knows it. Overwhelmed by guilt and confusion, Chanel spirals into a frenzy of emotion. She begins to imagine a future she can't bear to face, a future where Johnny is arrested, convicted, and taken from her forever. Her heart races as she confesses to Paulina that she's starting to believe Johnny might go to jail. It's a terrifying thought, one that threatens to shatter the fragile life they've been trying to build together. As Chanel battles her inner turmoil, Paulina stands strong, offering the kind of grounded wisdom only a mother can provide. But even Paulina has to admit, something isn't right. And the answers may lie closer to home than anyone realized. Meanwhile, secrets, suspicions, and betrayals continue to bubble beneath the surface. The residents of Salem are no strangers to deception, but this week, the stakes are higher than ever. Every conversation feels like a chess move, every glance filled with unspoken tension. And as the truth inches closer to being revealed, no one is safe from the fallout. By the end of the week, alliances will be tested, hearts will be broken, and the lives of Sammy, Johnny, Chanel, and EJ will never be the same. The question remains: can the bonds of family survive when built on a foundation of trauma, secrets, and pain? Stay tuned as Days of Our Lives delivers one of its most emotionally charged weeks yet, packed with twists you won't see coming, confessions that will break your heart, and fiery confrontations that promise to leave Salem forever changed. Alison Sweeney's triumphant return to Salem, a mother's love rekindled for fans of the long-running daytime drama Days of Our Lives. The return of Alison Sweeney as Sammy Brady is nothing short of a momentous occasion. In a storyline rich with emotion, Sweeney steps back into the shoes of a woman whose past traumas and family bonds have captivated viewers for nearly 2 decades. Now, as she reunites with her son Johnny and confronts the legacy of his father's actions, Sweeney brings a depth of feeling and commitment that promises to honor the show's storied history while opening a new chapter in this beloved saga. A legacy of love and loss. From the very first moment Sammy Brady appeared on screen, audiences have been enthralled by her fierce loyalty and unwavering dedication to her family. Her journey has been marked by heartbreak and triumph in equal measure, from the early days of her romance with E.J. DiMera, to the dramatic twists of mistaken identities and hidden parentage that defined her life in Salem. Through it all, it has been Sammy's role as a mother that has resonated most deeply. When Sammy and E.J. first met, their connection was electric, a love story for the ages. But with love came betrayal, and Sammy endured more than her share of pain. The revelation that E.J. had played a part in her mother's suffering shattered the fragile bond they had built, and the fallout changed the course of both their lives forever. Their son, Johnny, grew up sheltered from the darker truths of his parents' past, until now. A son's anguish in recent episodes, Johnny has learned the heartbreaking truth. His father's betrayal against his grandmother. The news came not from a carefully planned conversation, but through an accidental slip of the tongue by his grandfather. Suddenly, Johnny's world was upended. The young man who once idolized his father found himself consumed by rage and disillusionment, struggling to reconcile the image of the man he knew with the painful reality of his actions. No amount of consolation from Chanel, Johnny's devoted wife, could quell the storm of emotions that raged within him. Chanel has stood by Johnny through every trial, offering love and support, but even her gentle reassurances could not bridge the chasm opened by this shocking revelation. The return of a mother. It is in this moment of turmoil that Sammy returns to Salem. Driven by a mother's instinct to protect and heal, she steps back into her son's life, determined to offer the understanding and compassion he so desperately needs. As Johnny grapples with his anger, Sammy becomes both a teacher and a comforter, guiding him through the maze of adult complexities with the wisdom that only a parent can provide. Alison Sweeney, who has portrayed Sammy for nearly 2 decades, admits that revisiting this storyline has been both a challenge and a privilege. She shared that she had not anticipated the depth of emotion that resurfaced as she recalled the original events from 19 years ago. The moment Johnny learned the truth echoed the raw vulnerability of those early scenes, and Sweeney found herself transported back to the height of Sammy's anguish and determination. Honoring the past, embracing the future for Sweeney, the key to doing justice to this storyline lies in honoring the original material while bringing new layers of authenticity to the character. She immersed herself in the history of Sammy and EJ's relationship, recalling every nuance of their romance, conflict, and ultimate separation. Yet she also recognized that this chapter belongs to Sammy as a mother, not merely as a former lover. In interviews, Sweeney has spoken of her desire to approach the material with fairness, to present Sammy's story in a way that resonates with both longtime viewers and newcomers. She understands that the audience, particularly those who have followed Days of Our Lives for decades, values continuity and emotional truth. At the same time, she is eager to explore the growth that comes from revisiting old wounds and forging new connections. The power of a mother's love. As Sammy navigates the delicate task of explaining to Johnny why certain truths were kept from him, she confronts her own regrets and fears. Would it have been better to shield him, or to prepare him for the harsh realities of life in Salem? These questions linger as she strives to rebuild trust with her son. Through it all, the bond between mother and child emerges as the ultimate force of healing. Sammy's love for Johnny transcends the pain of the past, offering him a path forward. In guiding him through his disillusionment, she reminds us of the enduring power of family, the unbreakable ties that bind us, even in our darkest hours. A new chapter begins with Alison Sweeney's return. Days of Our Lives opens a new chapter that promises drama, heartache, and ultimately, redemption. As Sammy Brady reclaims her place in Salem, viewers can look forward to a story that honors the show's rich legacy while delivering fresh, emotionally charged narratives. For those who have watched Sammy's journey from her earliest days in Salem, this storyline is a poignant reminder of why we fell in love with her in the first place. And for those just joining the saga, it offers a powerful introduction to a character whose strength, resilience, and capacity for love have made her an icon of daytime television. In the end, it is Sammy's unwavering devotion as a mother. Her willingness to face painful truths and fight for her son's well-being, that shines brightest. Through her, we are reminded that no matter how deep the wounds, love has the power to heal, and family has the power to endure.